sensual heat, lust, and love. Beltane, from the Celtic Fire Festival, celebrates the beginning of summer and the growing season. With this ancient calendar arose an understanding, a dark half of the year beginning at Samhain, and a light half that began at Beltane. In the Northern Hemisphere, we see the earth start to blossom. You may feel like spring has just sprung, but the earth has been hard at work, slowly transforming and preparing. In some traditions, this is when the goddess conceives the son that she will give birth to during the winter solstice. Some say her consort is the young oak king, sometimes referred to as Jack in the Green or the Green Man. And this is when he wins her hand. This day has become associated with lust, love, hand fastings, weddings, flirty and passionate energy. It is a great time for fertility or igniting a passion for a new project. The growing season traditionally starts when hawthorn trees are in bloom, from sundown on April 30th to May 1st on modern calendars. Its exact date is typically determined by an astrological event, the sun's precise position, marking the midpoint between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. During this season, numerous festivals occur under various names. Each of us within the Naturally Modern Witch Coven is encouraged to name the seasonal shifts based on our relationship with nature. On my witch's wheel, it is the beginning of the season of fire. Our day begins by making the May wine. Originating from Germany, it is a delightful punch or aromatized or infused wine. It's traditionally made with sweet woodruff, but where I'm from in North Carolina, we will often make dandelion wine. So to make the May wine, I used a half a cup of dried sweet woodruff in a quart-sized jar and covered it with Riesling. You can use any type of white wine that you prefer. Put the lid on tight, give it a good shake. And then you'll want to be sure to loosen the lid slightly because some of these wines are carbonated and you want to make sure that you keep things safe. Allow it to steep for about 4 days to 1 week. Sweet woodruff is great for protection and prosperity, so drink it up and toast a glass to the blossoming of all things. May baskets are a spring tradition dating back generations. In the 1800s and early 1900s, people would mark the 1st of May by hanging baskets of flowers on a neighbor's doorknob, knocking on the door, and dashing away before they could be discovered. This will be going on my front door as a house witch spell for protection. And that's a spot that gets a lot of heat and sunlight and wind and a lot of exposure to the elements. So I'm going to need to use artificial flowers. A living plant won't thrive there either because it's just such direct sunlight where I live. But feel free to get creative and use what works best for you. Fresh flowers or dried ones would be perfect. I'm using artificial flowers based on their symbolism, so white hydrangeas for cleansing and purity, lavender for protection and purification, and olive branches for peace. By placing it on the front door, I'm going to be welcoming in these energies into my home. Another long-standing tradition is crowning a May Queen with a flower crown. These are traditionally made from fresh flowers. This year, my daughter wanted one that she could reuse over and over. For this, I used about 1 foot of a 5-foot vine garland as a base. Using some floral tape and pliers, bend and wrap the ends so they are smooth and they create a bit of a hook. And with the smaller flowers, cluster them together, tying it with the floral wire, and then attach them to your base. After strategically placing a few larger flowers where I wanted them, I grabbed the floral tape, carefully wrapping the vine and keeping it taut, adding the clusters or other flowers to the base, and continue wrapping with the floral tape, making sure not to tear it. Continue adding flowers until you're happy with the look. And make sure you've wrapped both ends. Here's what it looks like underneath. And with the 2 loops on the ends, you can tie it with some ribbon to secure it. Okay, I know I made it for my daughter, but I had to try it on. What do you think? Merrymaking and Maypole dancing. The tradition is believed to have started around 2,000 years ago in Roman Britain and is still celebrated today. I'm making both a full-sized maypole and a mini maypole for my altar. To make the crown for the top of the maypole, use the other 4 feet of the vine garland and secure it with wire to make a wreath. A pre-made wreath will work perfectly for this too. Using wire or hot glue, attach the flowers and decorations to the wreath. I plan to use this as a wall or door decoration a bit later, so it's nice to have these options and be able to make it multi-use and multi-purpose. I used pliers to keep the wire taut and secure, that way your flowers aren't falling out later. Now we'll add some ribbon to make a star by threading it through and between the garland, making a pinnacle for blessings. Not only does it offer energetic protection and blessings, but it will be used to attach the wreath to the top of the maypole. Loosely tie the ribbon and pull these parts together. Here's the maypole. It's basically a wooden dowel in a temporary stand with an eye hook at the top where we will be threading all of the ribbon through and then attaching everything else. A bit of repurposed trash or recycling cardboard would work nice. This just helps the ribbons to spread out. Then tie the wreath or flower crown to the top. We put ours inside a planter full of lemon balm when we took it outside to prepare for our family ritual. As the wheel turns from Ostara to Beltane, the focus changes to sacred unions. A hand-fasting cord is used to symbolically tie the knot at weddings or unions, representing a couple's commitment. It's typically a long piece of rope or cord, ribbon, or fabric wrapped around the couple's hands during the ceremony. Changing our family altar with the seasons helps us stay connected to nature. For May, we're celebrating fertility, renewal, and vibrant growth. To add a mini maypole to the altar, I'm gluing a piece of foam to a plate to keep it in place. Just using a stick from the yard that's pretty straight, secure it with a bit of glue to the foam. Then add the ribbons to the top with another dab of hot glue. And continue adding them all the way around. Top it off with a bead or other decoration. And a little bit of moss. If your foam is green, it will hide it a little bit better underneath. Now that the family altar is all set, it's time to head outside for the ritual and celebration. Until next time, blessed be modern witches.